Hi, everybody. My name is Sam Arizari, and today we're going to take a look at my approach for developing my organization development library. I took a very similar approach that I took to my mind map project, and what I mean by that is I looked at these drafts as sort of a laboratory, one where I can experiment with ideas that I may or may not keep on my final project, one that I'm able to get feedback on how some things look, or really spend some time just developing my ideas and the layout and how I want the flow of this project to go. So again, it is very similar. Some of these slides are more developed than others. They're definitely not finished products. I know my final presentation is going to have a lot more in there, but again, I wanted to spend some time on some of the places where I thought it was going to take a little more thought. And again, it's just really organize the flow of it. That way, when I have my final project, it runs a lot smoother. And it's also very visually appealing. So, I started by kind of looking at the plan, and I'm going to talk about my purpose, the leaders, actions, and and the needs. And some of these, as you see, are more developed than others. Like with this one, I put in here, hey, this is the type of note that, or the type of visual I want to use, or in my notes I'll put this is the type of idea that I want to talk about on this slide. In my needs, for example, I'm imagining a visual of a person with these different needs flowing into their body, allowing success. So these are ways that I'm brainstorming to come up with the ideas that I'm going to put on these slides to really make it flow smoothly. There's other parts like my purpose where I want to spend more time, looking at the specifics of my purpose, creating a mission statement. And some of it just took more time to develop, what I wanted to say. So I haven't gotten a chance to really put it into a visual, because I want those to be meaningful. So, some of these slides, as I said, they're not all the way there, but I wanted to just show kind of my thinking and how I'm going to approach this. This section here, I took, the Rokich, survey and found, my terminal values and my instrumental values, and I found a way to make a really inviting visual here. And I was, one suggestion I might change for this is changing the colors so it's easy to see which one are, my terminal and my instrumental values. I'm still, it's still a work in progress. I feel I might want to take a little more time and give a little more attention to each of these values. So again, this is all kind of just a laboratory for me to figure out, hey, how do I like the flow? How does this work? How is this going to play in where I'm going to be able to check off every box of each requirement and talk about things that need to be talked about? Some other things like my history, it took a little time for me to really develop, to figure out my why in the first place, and then from there to figure out how my values made that why. So I'm very thoughtful, and I take a lot of time to do that, and so I didn't feel comfortable putting it all on a slideshow at this moment because it's still a work in progress, and I don't want to have to just go back on everything. But at the end of the day, I'm noticing that a lot of my history from school and work and how I was brought up set my values, and also are the driving factors for what I want to do and my why. I'm having a hard time developing my emerging OD. What I have come to the conclusion is that I like a lot of different things, and that's fine. Um, my emerging methods are probably more towards creating collaboration, driving community engagement and group engagement, and just individual engagement in your own personal success, and finding methods that kind of match that. I also, I'm passionate about being a strong leader. And so I'm finding that, my methods, I might have one or two. And, for me, again, that's fine. And I feel as I move forward in this journey, those may begin to narrow down. I can easily see how the mind map project is playing into this one. What I found is a lot of the themes in my library are being divided into, um, at least the 5 or 6 main elements that I thought were important. And so as I've created my library, I've seen, hey, this falls under purpose, or this falls under system, or this falls under, a behavior topic, or I added a leadership topic. So I'm definitely finding how my mind map approach is easily translatable into the OD library, and I'm having a lot of the same issues I actually had with my map with my library, is that I'm finding hard where what goes, or how to fit everything in, and you'll see here in a little bit. My dream job is really hard for me to narrow down, and the reason why it is because I have a lot of interests. I have a lot of different things I like to do, and I have a lot of things I'm passionate about. And so finding my dream organization has always been something that's been elusive for me because of that. And so what I'm starting to find again is that that's okay. I can do more things than one. I could have a lot of interests, and I want to make sure that my dream job and my dream organization, even if it's my own organization, gives me the opportunity where I can do all those different things. And so a lot of this I'm still trying to figure out. I'm still trying to pin it down specifically what my dream organization is going to look like. So I don't have, a ton on that at the moment, because I still want to spend more time on those topics. I have been spending a lot of time working on my resume and my portfolio. I found the portfolio section very helpful. I like an idea of having my projects all kept in one spot, a description of those projects. I like the idea of having my resumes and my cover letters and my coursework all in one spot. So I've spent a lot of time developing my portfolio, and not only that, also kind of rewriting my resume to match more of what I feel like I'm gonna do. And I'm finding that a lot of what I have done, a lot of my past experiences, translates very easily to what I want to do. Because at the root of it, it's kind of my passion and my drive that pushes all that into reality. I've had a pretty easy time developing the library. My one holdup is that I tend to overanalyze things. So, I'm using OneDrive on my computer because I think it's the easiest way to organize just a lot of different types of information. And, as you see, I have kind of 4 or 5 main folders, and then as you move into example like the OD library, I'll have my portfolio folder, my network folder, my OD classwork, and different themes. So if you look at my OD classwork, you might go into facilitating organization collaboration, and you'll see our different projects and the different literature and the different videos and handouts that we've had, and on top of that, my projects. So you could also look, if you see the themes, which again I mentioned that these kind of mirror the 8 elements, that I go in much more depth. So if I have a topic about behavior, I can go into behavior, and there'll be different books, or there'll be different themes within behavior, or for example, leadership. Under the 6080 class, I had a topic for behaviors, and I had a topic for leadership, and then it went into resonant leaders, and then all the way down to primal leadership. And the good thing is my past library that I built was very thorough through OneNote. So I've always taken very heavy notes in OneNote. So I was always able to go back and kind of see what I learned in that moment, what I took from that chapter or that lesson. And so I want to find a way to incorporate this. I've currently just created PDFs and put them in there, but what I'm missing is the ability to search quickly. My favorite part about OneNote is that you can search metadata. So, for example, if I have a topic about leadership, I can search leadership. It'll bring up all various chapters and topics of leadership that I've discussed. I can view primal leadership, or if I want to even get deeper, I can look for resonant leadership, and it'll divide it even deeper down. So my current setup, I want to find a way to combine my OneNote with my OneDrive, and I think it's possible to actually keep both. Just make sure that the topics kind of mirror each other. So that's kind of where I'm at the moment. One other thing I like to do is I like to just take certain types of visuals that I think might be able to fit into my project, and I like to just add them into my PowerPoint at the moment. These may or may not make the final cut. I just really like to see how they look, how they flow into the presentation. And I don't want to forget that I have them. So I like to just add these on. So you'll see that I have just some extra pictures in here that I think might fit in. They may or may not, but again, when I'm doing this project, I'm really looking at it as my laboratory. This is my opportunity to experiment, to get things right and to get things wrong, because at the end of the day, my final deliverable is what matters. So as the first draft, I really like where I'm heading. Again, I'm using a lot of the same tactics that I used in my mind map project, and I like where this is going, and I just need a little more time to develop some of my ideas and spend a lot more time developing the type of catchy visuals that I know I can do. So, thank you guys for your time. I appreciate it, and I'll talk to you all soon.